Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Old Songs. I'm Joy Bennett. I'm the executive director of Old Songs. Anyone here for the first time? Welcome. I hope it won't be the last. Congratulations. We've got some great programs coming up, but I'll tell you more about that after the break. I will not talk much because, well, Sarah's had one hell of a tour so far, and she's been touring since the beginning of September with a show almost every night. So, very busy. Only 2 more gigs after this one in the States, and then off to the other side of the little pond, the big pond. So, without further ado, Sarah McQuaid.
Thank you so much, Joy. It's really lovely to be back here again. As Joy said, it's been a long old tour, but I've been looking forward to coming back to Old Songs. I always used to look forward to coming back to Old Songs. I was delighted to see there's still a photo of me on the wall there that was taken in 2010. Can you imagine? 13 years ago, there I am, looking youthful. And I always used to look forward to coming back here because Martin, my wonderful manager and sound engineer, who's been with me on every one of my visits, including the ones in 2010 was the first one. And we always used to stay with Andy and Bill. And we'd go back to their house, and Bill would get out his mechanical dancing emu. Have any of you seen the mechanical dancing emu? Oh, it's a thing of wonder, truly a thing of wonder. And, and he'd put music videos up on his enormous TV screen. He had the most enormous TV screen, and it was just lovely. And we'd sit there and drink beer and have a lovely chat. And I'm so sad that I don't get to do that this time. I've got all of you guys here, and this is great, and it's really wonderful that Joy has taken over and kept the show going. But I do miss getting to see Andy and Bill. And if Andy is watching online, hello, Andy. I miss you. The sweetness of the berry doesn't take away the pain of the briar when it stabs you in the hand. But the power of your craving for the fruit among the thorns is driving you to risk another chance. Sweetness and pain, summer sun and autumn rain. The bramble does not seek to harm, it merely seeks to live. It injures without malice or intention. There's no question of forgiveness, no apology, no pardon for minor wounds too numerous to mention. Sweetness and pain, winter winds return again. Sharp black thorns concealed and smoothed by softly falling snow. Drops of blood like bright red flowers. This hurt will pass. Just let it go. Sweetness and pain, shake it off and start again. Thank you. so much. Well, like so many musicians, I was hit really hard by the whole COVID and lockdown thing. I had to dash home. Martin and I were on tour in Germany when it all kicked off. We were 2 weeks into what was supposed to be a much longer tour, and we had to dash home before the borders closed. And then it became a question of what we would do now that we couldn't tour. And Martin completely amazed me by saying, why don't we make that live album that we've always wanted to make? And I said, well, we can't make a live album. We won't have an audience. And he said, yes, but if we don't have an audience, we can have a film crew. And we can, get a whole film crew in and have cameras up close in your face and record the whole thing as we're recording it live. And then it became a question of where we were going to do this. And there's a beautiful medieval church just up the road from where I live in West Cornwall. And they very kindly gave us permission to go in there at the point. There was a point towards the end of lockdown when you were allowed to have 6 people in a space at one time, as long as you were working and not, it wasn't just a social occasion. And so we went in there with a film crew. I did a crowdfunder, and we made that live album. And we had the film crew recording it as we were recording it, filming it as we were recording it live. And then it was a question of what songs I was going to record on that. And the first one that occurred to me to record was this one that I'm about to sing for you now, because it was the song that kind of got me through the whole dark time when I couldn't perform at all, which was really terrible, because if you're a performer, there's kind of a part of you that comes out when you're on stage that doesn't come out when you're off stage. And so when you can't do it, you kind of feel like that part of yourself is missing, and you kind of, I don't know, you don't feel quite fully yourself when you can't do it. But this song kind of kept me going. It was a song I'd written for a much earlier album. I wrote this originally for my third album, The Plum Tree and the Rose, and to kind of keep my hopes up in dark financial times. And just as well, because I've had lots of those ever since. And it still keeps my hopes up. It's called The Sun Goes On Rising. I hear the wolf at the door. I've seen his face before. He's hungry and I'm tired. Can't keep him out much more. And through a chink in the blind, I watch him pace the line. I better step back from the window. He's only biding his time. Spring follows winter, sun follows shower. Things will get better if only I can hold that wolf at bay, drive him away. The sun goes on rising every day. I'm keeping the faith. I'm still in the race. I'm marking down the time till I can get to a better place. Spring follows winter, sun follows shower. Things will get better if only I can hold that wolf sun goes on rising every day. In cloudy skies, morning comes and amber turns to gray. Ooh. The sun goes on rising every day. And the time will come when I don't feel this way. Seagulls fly in cloudy skies. Morning comes and amber turns to gray. The sun goes on rising every day. The sun goes on rising. The sun goes on rising. The sun goes on rising. Yeah. Ooh. Ooh. The sun goes on rising every day. Thank you so much. Well, for those of you who are wondering about what I said about living in Cornwall and thinking she doesn't really sound like she's from Cornwall, I was born in Spain, which is where my father was from, and I grew up in Chicago, which is where my mother was from. And then I moved to Ireland, which is where my husband is from and where my children were born. And then after living in Ireland for 13 years, I moved with my husband and our 2 kids to Cornwall in the far southwest of England. So there you go. You would have figured it out, wouldn't you, just by listening to me speak. But when I first moved to Cornwall, I had at that point, I had just re-released my first album, which consisted mostly of, as I thought, traditional Irish songs and tunes. And I went out to a session and played one of the songs from that album, and all the Cornish people at the session said, "Oh, you've learned a Cornish song for us!" And I said, "Yes." Yeah, that's exactly what I did. So apparently, this is a Cornish song. It's called "The Sprig of Thyme." In my garden grew plenty of thyme. It would flourish by night and by day, till along came a lad, and he took all I had, stole all my time away. Stole time away. And I was a damsel fair, but fairer I wished to appear. So I bathed me in milk, and I clothed me in silk. I put the sweet time in my hair. I put the sweet time in my hair. In June the red roses in bloom. It was not the flower for me, for I plucked the bud, and it pricked me to blood as I gazed on the willow tree. Gazed on the willow tree. Willow tree, it will twist, and the willow tree, it will twine. And I wish I were clasped in my lover's arms fast. 'Tis he that has stolen my time. 'Tis he that has stolen my time. And it's very good drinking of ale, but it's better for drinking of wine. And I wish I were clasped in my lover's arms fast. 'Tis he that has stolen my time. 'Tis he that has stolen my time. Thank you so much. Woo, here comes the train. Woo-hoo. Well, that beautiful acoustic guitar that I've been playing was custom made for me by a wonderful luthier in England called Andy Manson. And I'm very lucky to have it. He's made lots of instruments for people far more famous than myself, notably both John Paul Jones and Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin. So he's made loads of instruments for John Paul Jones. And if you ever see old pictures of Led Zeppelin, where Jimmy Page is playing this strange-looking instrument that has 3 necks, all coming off the body at odd angles. I think one's a mandolin neck, and another's a 6-string guitar, and another a 12-string. That was made by the same guy who made that guitar, so I'm lucky to have it. I'm lucky to have this guitar, too. I bought this back in 2019 for my last American tour, thinking it would be really convenient to not have to try to bring 2 guitars over on the plane, because you're kind of pushing your luck bringing 1 guitar on the plane. And so I bought this guitar, and then it sat in my cousin's basement in upstate New York which is kind of where we are now, isn't it? So yeah, not far from here. Sat in my cousin's basement for 4 years. But thankfully it still works, which I was really relieved to find out when I got back over here. This is a piece I wrote for Electric. It's called The Day of Wrath, That Day. So much. Oh, that's really nice. One of the nice things about playing, for kind of small, intimate audiences is when somebody says, yeah, you hear it. It's really nice. Thank you, whoever said, yeah. Was it you? I think it was you. Thank you. Thank you. You don't have to feel obliged to say yeah after every single song. It's okay if you don't. But anyway, on the original album version of the song I'm about to play for you now, The backing vocals were contributed partly by my cat and partly by a pheasant who was kind of strutting his stuff beside the studio where we were doing the recording. And over the course of the recording, the pheasant made it clear that he was keen to contribute. He really wanted to be part of the whole thing. And so we decided to give him his wish, and Martin went out with the microphone and recorded the pheasant, and we recorded the cat as well. And I don't have either the cat or the pheasant here with me this evening. So how are you guys on animal noises? Are you good at them? And you folks listening at home can do the animal noises too. It's anything goes. Especially since I can't actually hear you if you're watching at home and doing animal noises in the comfort of your living room. So, but you guys I will hear, so be loud. And it can be any animal. It can be horses, pigs, goats, sheep, donkeys, anything really. I was doing a gig in an island off the coast of South Carolina one time, and a man sitting right in the front row made a noise in the audience participation bit of this song, and I couldn't tell what it was meant to be, and I said afterwards at the break, what was that exactly? And he said that was the mating call of the bull alligator. So feel free. I'll let you know when it's time for your big moment. There's a sparrow at my window and he's spoiling for a fight. He's attacking his reflection and he's puffing out with pride. Doesn't see the cat, he's watching from the windowsill inside. She stares at him intently with her gorgeous golden eyes, while he flaps and struts and chatters in a futile exercise. Can't banish the invader, though he tries and tries and tries. He could have built himself a nest instead of battling the stranger, but the image in the window pane is all that seems to matter. It's his enemy, a nemesis to hate and fear forever. Okay, now we've come to the instrumental break, as it were. So this is kind of your big moment where if you feel like doing anything like meow or or anything else. Have you got any dogs? Oh, I thought I heard one. Maybe a cat. No? Oh, that's good. That's getting better. How about sheep? Superb. Sheep are always a good bet. How about, let's see, have we got any horses? Superb. Cows. Fantastic. You guys are great. Thank you so much. Thank you. The cat is plump and glossy. She's prepared to bide her time till the sparrow falls exhausted to the ground. And then she stands and stretches out her back and takes herself outside. She pads across the grass to find him. She never makes a sound. One sparrow down. Meow. Thank you so much. Thank you. That was absolutely magnificent. Thank you. Well, on my fifth album, I had the great good fortune to work with a wonderful producer who's also a great, great musician and a lovely human being called Michael Chapman. And sadly, Michael left us just at the end of 2021. And which was a great loss to music, because he was an absolutely brilliant musician, brilliant songwriter, fantastic performer, and wonderful human being, and great friend, and a kind of a musical mentor for me. And I was glad that at that point I had actually decided to record one of Michael's songs on the new album, the St. Buryan Sessions, the one that we recorded live in lockdown, because he wrote so many beautiful songs. And when I went into St. Buryan Church, there was this beautiful grand piano there, big old Yamaha concert grand. And I thought it would be really nice, because Michael was such a brilliant guitarist, to do one of his songs, but not try and do it on guitar, do it on piano, and kind of see what I could bring to it. So it's on that album, and luckily he did get to hear and approve it before he left us. This is called Rabbit Hills. It's a long, long road from here down to the sea, but it's the only thing that keeps your love with me. Where the water meets the trees and the long grass turns to sand, bluebirds skip the waves, stones like jewels in your hand. Or is it mine? Imagination again. At the end of the road, there's a clearing in the shade. It's there many times my love and I have laid. The path disappears and the garden's overgrown, but at least it was somewhere for us to call our own. Or was it my imagination again? The water is so cold today, I sit behind the hill and conjure up my memories like motion picture stills, waiting for the tide to rise and wash away all trace of my footsteps on the beach and etch away your face. And it's a long, long road from here down to the sea. The only thing that keeps your love with me, where the water meets the trees and the long grass turns to sand, bluebirds skip the waves, stones like jewels in your hand. Or is it my imagination again? Or is it my imagination again? Thank you so much. Thank you. Well, I'm a great believer in recycling and reducing and reusing and all those good things. And I compost my kitchen scraps, and so I got to thinking that it would be a really nice thing if I could be composted after I die. Wouldn't that be good? You know, rejoin the cycle of nature, as it were, and give something back, because, you know, we take so much away from this beautiful earth, and I feel really bad about, oh man, all the fossil fuels I use in the course of my touring, but if I didn't do it, I couldn't come and see you guys, and I really love being able to do that. So I thought, yeah, maybe I could just give something back and just help, even I could just help one tree to grow. Wouldn't that be a good thing? So I thought the best way of making sure everybody else was on the same page as me about this and knew what I wanted on the subject was to write a song about it. So here it is. It's called Break Me Down. You can keep your oaken coffin, you can keep your funeral urn. Don't want any stone above me, don't want my body burned. Don't want to wind up like a pharaoh, mummified in a museum. I don't want to be a prisoner in some marble mausoleum. Let me return to the earth when I end my days. I want the sweetest flowers growing over my grave. Let me crumble dust to dust underground. Break me down. If my organs are of use, I hope they find a happy home. Put away that heavy makeup, won't need it where I'm going. When I die, just dig me under, let my bones enrich the soil. Got some prime organic matter on me, shame to let it spoil. Let me return to the earth when I end my days. I want the sweetest flowers growing over my grave. Let me crumble dust to dust underground. Break me down. Break me down till I am nothing. Break me down till I am one with the good earth, bringing better growth in time to come. You can keep your oaken coffin, you can keep your funeral urn. Don't want any stone above me, I don't want my body burned. Don't want to wind up like a pharaoh, mummified in a museum. I don't want to be a prisoner in some marble mausoleum. Let me return to the earth when I end my days. I want the sweetest flowers growing over my grave. Let me crumble dust to dust underground. Break me down. Break me down. I'm going to do one more in this first half of the evening. And then I'm going to take a little break, during which you can avail of the refreshments laid out over there, and use the toilet if you need to do that. And if you're at home, get up and make yourself a cup of tea, you know, and or something stronger, you know. Be my guest. And when you've done all of those important things, you might like to, well, if you're here, you might like to visit my extensively stocked merchandise emporium just over there. And I've got all kinds of stuff. I've got CDs. There's a special deal on the CDs. If you buy more than one, you get a discount off the price of each one. I do take credit cards. I've got vinyl LPs as well, just a few left, and of both the Dig Any Deeper album, the one that Michael Chapman produced and plays on, and also the new live album, the St. Buryan Sessions, which is actually a double LP. It's a whole 70-minute live concert, and you can't fit all that on one vinyl record. So it's a double LP. It's on blue vinyl, and it's a special limited edition. Every copy has its own number on the front. And I've also got these nifty little wooden USB sticks, because, as I mentioned, we had the whole thing filmed, and you can watch the individual song videos on YouTube, but if you want to watch the whole concert film as a concert film, the only way to do it is to get one of these nifty little USB drives made of sustainable forestry wood, which is engraved with my artwork that I did for the cover of that album. And on them is not only the concert film of the St. Buryan Sessions, but also my entire complete digital discography, every single album, 7 albums, several singles that never made it onto any albums, and every music video I've ever made, including some unrecorded songs, and the concert film, and a couple of documentaries about my music, and so on. And all on one little stick, which I think is pretty cool. I've got T-shirts, I've got guitar books all about the tuning I play in all the time, Dadgad, D-A-D-G-A-D, particularly as it applies to traditional Irish music, which is what I was mostly playing when I wrote that book. I do intend doing the follow-up book, and if you want to know when it's out and when I'm back in your part of the world again, you might like to sign up to my mailing list, which you can do either by signing the physical list, or there's those wee tour flyers over there have on them a QR code, which will take you straight to my website. Or if you're watching at home, sarahmcquaid.com is the website, and there you can sign up to the mailing list. And you can also, if you like, opt to buy me a virtual coffee, which is a really nice thing to do for struggling musicians like myself. A lot of us have these coffee pages set up. So that is the extent of my commercial message to you this evening. And the song I'm about to play for you is one that I recorded on the St. Buryan Sessions that I didn't write. I always like to put at least one cover song on all my albums, and this is the one I chose for that CD and LP. The words were written by the French poet Jacques Prévert, and they were set to music by a guy called Joseph Cosma. And then a fellow called Johnny Mercer came along and wrote the English language version of the lyrics. And it's a good one for this time of year that we're in now, as it's called Autumn Leaves. The falling leaves drift by my window. The autumn leaves of red and gold. I see your lips, soft kisses, the sunburned hands I used to hold. Since you went away, the days grow long, and soon I hear C'est une chanson qui nous ressemble. Toi qui m'aimais, moi qui t'aimais, nous vivions tous les deux ensemble. Toi qui m'aimais, moi qui t'aimais, mais la vie sépare ceux qui s'aiment tout doucement, sans faire bruit. Et la mer efface sur le sable les pas des amants désunis. Since you went away, the days grow long, and soon I hear hot winter's song, but I miss you most of all. Darling, when autumn leaves start to fall, I miss you most of all, my darling. When autumn leaves start to fall, to fall, to fall, to fall. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks a million.
So on your right, lots of things to eat and drink. On your left, the Sarah McQuaid Mall. So do shop there. Welcome back. Hope you all had some nice baked goods and things to drink and shopped at the mall. Just to let you know some of the upcoming events. November 11th, Scott Ainsley, one of the most amazing blues guys, fabulous guitarist, amazing banjo player as well. Then let's see, November 17th, James Keelahan from Canada, amazing poet and songwriter, wonderful. Come see him. He did a concert here a number of years ago with Archie Fisher called Men at Words, and it was just wonderful. So he's here by himself, and it's going to be a fabulous concert. Then Kungero, a Swedish female quartet with lots of wonderful harmonies, coming up December 1st. And closing out our season for concerts, December 8th is Winborn. And if you haven't heard them, the quartet, great harmonies. They've got some seasonal things, and it's going to be a fabulous show. If you like to dance, November 4th in this very space, there's a community barn dance that's happening here. So come on out for that. And without further ado, I'm going to, Sarah!
Thank you so much, Joy, and I hope you do support all of the events here, and tell your friends about them, and get your friends to come out and support them, because venues, live music venues on every level of the scale, from the great big stadiums and arenas and concert halls to small places like this are really struggling. A lot of people just seem to have got out of the habit of going to hear live music during the pandemic, and I really hope they get back into the habit again. So if you've enjoyed this, tell your friends. If you haven't enjoyed it, tell your enemies, but tell people anyway. My son was digging a great big hole in the back garden of our house a good few years ago when he was a lot smaller than he is now. And I was trying to keep an eye on him out the kitchen window, and I suddenly realized that I couldn't actually see him anymore. And so I went outside, and I still couldn't see him until I went right up to the edge of the hole and looked down into it. And there he was down there still digging. And I said, Eli, if you dig any deeper, it could get dangerous. And as soon as the words left my mouth, I thought, oh man, that has to be a song. So here it is. There's a boy in the garden with a shovel and a spade. He's gonna dig himself a hole that's the biggest ever made. Boy in the garden, shovel and spade, biggest hole ever made. I say, I know you're having fun, I don't want to make a fuss, but if you dig any deeper, it could get dangerous. Now we're drilling through the earth, building pressure all the time, splitting cracks in the rock to free the power inside. Drilling through the earth, pressure all the time, cracks in the rock, power inside. Some things are better left buried down under the crust, and if we dig any deeper, it could get dangerous. Put your shovel away, time to call it a day. Sometimes the way to fix a problem is to turn the pressure off, 'cause if you dig any deeper, it could get dangerous. Dig, 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 dig any deeper. Dig, 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 trembling ground. See the pale horse and trumpet sound. Fire and flood, trembling ground. Pale horse, trumpet sound. I hope we can stop it, but we need to hurry up, 'cause if we dig any deeper, it could get dangerous. Dig any deeper, it could get dangerous. Dig any deeper, it could get dangerous. Massive big thanks to the very wonderful Martin Stansbury behind the sound desk. He works the magic on that one. I always dreamed of someday being a trio of backing singers, and thanks to Martin, I get my wish. Silence above us, the comfort in darkness, pale clouds in a blanket of sky. The light from my window, the trees lost in shadow. We'll likely have frost later on tonight. It's cold, I should go back inside, where I know that it's warm if I sit near the fire. And as I stand shivering, the mist from my breathing forms tendrils of smoke that drift lower and higher. Orion, the hunter, is low in the sky. The guiding star is blue. I ask myself yet again, what is this world coming to? The silence above us, the green earth beneath us, abounding with power and life. Bushes are rustling, the small birds are settling, hunkering down to be safe for the night. Orion, the hunter, is low in the sky. The guiding star is blue. I ask myself yet again, what is this world coming to? As the night becomes colder and darker, more stars will appear in the sky. Tiny pinpoints of light, shining steady and bright. The silence above us, the comfort in darkness, pale clouds in a blanket of sky. The light from my window, the trees lost in shadow. We'll likely have frost later on tonight. Orion, the hunter, is low in the sky. The guiding star is blue. I ask myself myself yet again, what is this world coming to? And what can we do? Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, I mentioned my son who was digging the big hole in the back garden. He's now studying archaeology at the University of Durham. How about that? But when he was even smaller than he was when he was digging the hole, he went through a phase of not sleeping at night because he was lying awake and worrying about all sorts of different things. And so I said to him, why don't you try writing down your worries? And then they can be on the paper and not in your head. And that actually worked really well for him, and he stopped worrying so much and started sleeping again. But naturally, I, being his mother, had to look at the piece of paper where he'd written down all his worries. And one of the things that he was most worried about was the underground volcano underneath Yellowstone National Park. He was worried that that was going to erupt and set off a big chain reaction of volcanoes all around the globe, thereby causing the end of the world. And after I had written the song that I'm about to play for you, and started playing it at concerts, a man came up to me at one of my concerts, and he said, I'm a geologist, and you can tell your son that he doesn't need to worry so much about the volcano under Yellowstone. That one's not really a problem yet, but however, there are other, and I said, stop. I really do not need to hear the end of that sentence. My son can't sleep, he's 10 years old. He's scared that Yellowstone will blow. And when it does, it could set off a mighty chain reaction. Volcanoes round the world exploding, darkened skies and lava flowing. His mind won't let it go. He's 10 years old. Try to tell him not to worry. There's no point in dwelling on the things we can't control, especially when we're 10 years old. I try to tell him how the chances are so small that circumstances will combine to trigger that eventuality. And he looks back at me. He says, I know all that, but even so, my mind won't let it go. Well, I've got worries of my own, another simmering Yellowstone beneath the earth, releasing spurts each time the pressure rises. I know I'm not the only one to fear the ground I tread upon. Volcanoes of all kinds torment our minds. Who am I to say don't worry? How can we help dwelling on the things we can't control? Even if we're more than 10 years old, the sea of dreams and undermines us, causing us to falter as we struggle on our way, just trying to live each day in hope that your last stone won't blow. Let it go. Thank you. In Derby Cathedral, I read through the names on the wall, and I think of them all. I think of them all. Say a prayer for the souls of the faithful departed who've walked through these halls. Say a prayer for them all. Say a prayer for them all. So many who labor to praise their Creator with towers of glass, wood, and stone, where I wander alone. So flesh and bone. Derby Cathedral, it's peaceful but not in my mind. No peace can I find. No peace can I find. So many people in Derby Cathedral, so flesh and bone, glass, wood, and stone. Ooh, in Derby Cathedral, I read through the names on the wall, and I think of them all. I think of them all. So many people in Derby Cathedral, so flesh and bone, glass, wood, and stone. So flesh and bone, glass, wood, and stone. So flesh and bone, glass, wood, and stone. So flesh and bone, wood and stone. In Derby Cathedral I found my last home, my soul free to roam, my name carved in stone. Listen to the bells ringing out for me. In Derby Cathedral I found my last home, my soul free to roam, my name carved in stone. Listen to the bells ringing out for me. In Derby Cathedral I found my last home, my soul free to roam, my name carved in stone. Listen to the bells ringing out for me. Listen to the bells ringing out for me. Well, we may not have had bells, but we had train whistles, didn't we? I hope those of you listening at home heard the train whistles. It just came in at just the right moment. And by the way, can I say, I know we've got at least one person listening in from and watching in from Australia, which is amazing. I hope it's a decent hour where you are, Roger, and thank you so much for tuning in, and anybody else who's tuning into the live stream. This is called I Am Grateful for What I Have. So I don't know if you remember that at the end of 2016, we had what was called a leap second. We had to add an extra second to the countdown on New Year's Eve. And the reason we had to add that extra second is that the moon's gravitational pull on the Earth not only causes the tides, it's also ever so slowly and gradually slowing down the Earth's rotation, which means that every day of every month of every year is just a tiny, tiny fraction longer than the one before it. Isn't that something to think about? And because of that, so that our clocks stay in sync with our sundials, and so that noon is still noon when the sun is directly overhead, we have to add these extra seconds every so often, so that, yeah, as I say, so that the clocks keep in time with the sundials. I'm not sure if I said that correctly. I may have got distracted by tuning. Anyway, you get the general idea. I read a newspaper article about it, and it just blew my mind, and I decided I'd better write a song about it. So that's what I did. It's called The Tug of the Moon. The tug of the moon is slowing us down, drawing the tides, buckling the ground. Little by little, as centuries pass, it stretches our days. The years growing longer by such small degrees, we don't notice the change until noon comes a moment too late. So we make an adjustment in time at the end of the countdown, before all lang syne. 1 second to add before midnight, and then we all cheer with tears and with kisses. We greet the new year while the moon passes over us ever more distantly, pulling away as we turn towards the sunrise and night becomes day. We count up the lengthening hours that remain till the end comes too soon for an earth spinning under the tug of the moon. you so very much. We're getting near the end of the evening now, so I thought I'd play a couple that might be more familiar to you, because as I mentioned earlier, I always like to record at least one cover song on all my albums, because I think it's a really good exercise if you are writing songs to try and get your head into another songwriter's head every so often and try and see what you can bring to their song to kind of make it your own in some sense, and at the same time stay true to the spirit of the original. So I thought that I would try and get my head into Bob Dylan's head. Early one morning the sun was shining and I was laying in bed, wondering if she'd changed at all and if her hair was still red. The folks, they said our lives together sure was gonna be rough. They never did like Mama's homemade dress, Papa's bank book wasn't big enough. And now I'm standing by the side of the road, rain falling on my shoes, heading out for the East Coast, Lord knows I paid some dues, getting through, tangled up in blue. She was married when we first met, soon to be divorced. I helped her out of a jam, I guess, but I used a little too much force. We drove that car as far as we could, abandoned it out west. Split up on a dark, sad night, both agreeing it was best. And she turned around to look at me as I was walking away. I heard her say over my shoulder, we'll meet again someday on the avenue, tangled up in blue. I had a job in the great North Woods, working as a cook for a spell. I never did like it all that much, and one day the axe just fell. So I drifted down to New Orleans, where I happened to be employed, working for a while on a fishing boat right outside of Delacroix. All the while I was alone, the past was close behind. I'd seen a lot of women, she never escaped my mind, and I just grew tangled up in blue. She was working in a topless place, and I stopped in for beer. I just kept looking at the side of her face in the spotlight so clear. Later on, when the crowd thinned out, I was just about to do the same, and she was standing there by the side of my chair, saying to me, "Don't I know your name?" I muttered something underneath my breath. She studied the lines on my face. Must admit, felt a little uneasy when she bent down to tie the laces of my shoe, tangled up in blue. She lit a burner on the stove and offered me a pipe. Thought you'd never say hello, she said, you look like the silent type. And she opened up a book of poems and handed it to me, written by an Italian poet from the 13th century. And every one of them words rang true in my blood like burning coal, pouring out from every page that was written, my soul from me to you, tangled up in blue. I lived with them in Montague Street in a basement down the stairs. And there was music in the cafes at night and revolution in the air. And then he started into dealing with slaves and something inside him died. She had to sell everything she owned and froze up inside. And later on, when the bottom fell out, I became withdrawn. The only thing I knew how to do was to keep on keeping on like a bird that flew, tangled up in blue. Well, now I'm going back again. I got to get to her somehow. All the people we used to know, they're an illusion to me now. Some are mathematicians, some are carpenters' wives. I don't know how it all got started. I don't know what they do with their lives, but me, I'm still out on the road, heading for another joint. We always did feel the same. We just saw it from a different point of view. Tangled up in blue. Well, thank you all so much for coming out this evening. Thanks so much to Joy Bennett for inviting me to make my fourth visit here. And I'm so grateful that she's taken over the reins from Andy and Bill and done it so greatly. So greatly. That doesn't make sense. Anyway, she's done it really well. and thanks so much as well to Barbara, to Dan, who's there. Dan's the assistant director, and he's there by the door taking the tickets. And then there's some lovely people in the kitchen called Anne and Kitty and Marianne and George. And there's a lovely gentleman called Chris who sets up the whole live stream. And thanks to the train for providing atmosphere. I really hope that I have not missed anyone on the committee here. There's a lot of them, and they've all doing a beautiful job of it. So give them all a great big hand, please. And we also give a massive big hand to my wonderful long-suffering. I say long-suffering. He drove 11 hours yesterday. He does all of the driving. He also runs the sound and has done so at every concert I've done for 15 years now. He does a beautiful job. Makes sure I'm happy on stage. Makes sure you're happy out there. And does it without complaining most of the time. He complains a little bit every now and again. but he does it so well, and he looks after all the logistics and carries my suitcase for me, and I really could not do this without him. Give him a great big hand. Martin Stansbury. So I'll finish up, unless, of course, you ask for another one after this, in which case I won't finish up. But I will finish up officially with another song that I didn't write. It's a song I always like to play at my gigs because I think it's about the most beautiful love song ever written. It was written by Ewan MacColl, and he wrote it for Peggy Seeger. And it's been recorded by lots and lots of people, notably Roberta Flack. I also recorded it on my Walking into White album, and it's called The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face. First time ever I saw your face, I thought the sun rose in your eyes, and the moon and stars were the gifts you gave to the dark and the empty skies, my love, to the dark and the empty skies, my love. First time ever I kissed your mouth, I felt the earth move in my hand, like the trembling heart of a captive bird that was there at my command, my love, that was there at my command, my love. First time ever I lay with you and felt your heart so close to mine, I knew our joy would fill the earth, and it would last till the end of time, my love, and it would last till the end of time, my love. First time ever I saw your face, your face, your face. Thank you. I hope you're standing up because you want another one and not because, you just were in a hurry to leave. Because I can do another one if you like. Would you? Oh, thank you so much. Thanks a million. I'm always really glad when I get a chance to do this song because it's kind of a special song for me. It's one I wrote a long, long time ago when my kids were tiny. And I wrote it for my mother and also for my children, because I think for a lot of us, there's a moment when you open your mouth and out of it comes the voice of your mother, or maybe your father, as the case may be. And it happened to me one night, and I had to write a song about it. So thank you so much. It's been really, really lovely to be here. Thank you all for making it happen, and I hope I see you again. This is the last song. It's called the last song, and it always has to be the last song. Thank you. When I was a little girl, tucked in my bed at night, I'd have the door cracked open, and I'd watch that thread of light. I'd listen to my mother as she played her old guitar. I'd say, "Do Froggy went a-courtin' for the next one." She'd say, "All right, but now this has to be the last song. Are you still awake? Go to sleep, child. The sun is down, you're safe and sound. The Sandman's on his way. Honey, close your eyes. Time to be quiet now. Till you wake up in the morning and start another day." Years have passed, and now I'm trying to learn some sweet old tune. In the hall I've got the light on, so it shines into your room. You're talking to your teddy bears and playing with your dolls. You should have been asleep an hour ago, I'm thinking. Is it my mother's voice or mine that I hear asking? Are you still awake? Go to sleep, child. The sun is down, you're safe and sound. The Sandman's on his way. Honey, close your eyes. Time to be quiet now. Till you wake up in the morning and start another day. She left this world too soon to ever know you. She never got to see your little face. all my heart that she'd lived long enough to hold you, long enough to kiss your cheek and stroke your head and say, are you still awake? Go to sleep, child. The sun is down, you're safe and sound. The Sandman's on his way. Honey, close your eyes. Time to be quiet now. Do you wake up in the morning and start another day? Another day. Froggy went a-courting and he did right. Froggy went a-courting and he did right. Sword and pistol by his side. Thank you so much. Good night.
Thank you, Martin. Thank you, all the volunteers. Hope to see you here for the dance on November 4th. Scott Owens Ainsley on the 11th. And many hands make light work. If you wouldn't mind folding your chairs. If you're on this side, put them over there on the wall. If you're on this side, over there. Thank you so much for coming tonight.